series on regifting Christmas. And what we've been looking at is we've been looking at what is the real significance that Christmas really means that has kind of gotten lost in our society, and how we can regift that and give it back to our society so they remember the real significance of Christmas. We've already looked at the story of redemption in our first week of how God has redeemed us. Last week we looked at the story of having a relationship, that how God gives us the opportunity to actually have a relationship with Him, our Creator. And today we're going to look at the story of purpose. And that is another one of the core teachings, one of the core understandings of the Christian faith, is our purpose within Christ. And it's one of those things that often gets lost during the Christmas season amongst the hustle and the bustle that we all experience. When you understand what God's purpose for you is, that Christmas reminds us of, what it does in your life is it's this. It simplifies things for you. It provides a calmness for you. And at the same time, it provides you a peace that the world does not know and the world does not experience. You see, for Christmas, it is one of the busiest and most stressful times of the year for a lot of people. So to illustrate that, what I did this week is I actually found a checklist online of how you get ready for Christmas. So we're going to go through this and see if you are up to speed, because Christmas is 2 weeks away, all right? Less than 2 weeks away, and we're going to see if you are up to speed with what you should have already done to be ready for Christmas, all right? So here's where we are. First thing, 3 to 6 months before. So either from July to October, you should have already got this in order. You should have made your make your family plan. So all of your plans for Christmas, what it's all going to look like, you should have already had it written down so you know how it's all going to work. If you need to buy plane tickets, you should have got them then to save yourself money. All right? So that's 3 to 6 months out. Next one, 2 months before Christmas, here's where you should be. Put all the activities you know are coming on your calendar. So that should already be down. Start baking things that you can freeze. All right? Update your holiday card list. So those that are naughty, you take them off. Those that have been nice to you, you put them on. So you get your card list ready. You shop for cards and wrapping paper. You make plans for overnight guests. So if they're coming to your house, you make plans of how you're going to accommodate all of them. You have that done 2 months before Christmas, okay? Next, 6 weeks, a month and a half out, you need to make a master gift list. So you need to write down all the gifts that you have to buy and for who you have to buy them for. Then you need to make a budget. Then you need to start Christmas shopping in earnest, as they put it. And so you better get on it and you start buying your Christmas gifts, all right? Here we go. 1 month before, do your online shopping. So obviously they waited till Cyber Monday, so that's kind of nice. Do your online shopping. Wrap gifts as you buy them. Take stock of your decorations, so get them out and see what new decorations you need or what ones you need to get rid of. Take stock in your dishes and glasses. Make sure you have enough for everybody that's coming over. And start addressing your holiday cards, which is like the most miserable task in all the world. And that's why, if you want to send them to church people, we have a box right out here when you go out to your left where you don't have to address them. You just write people's names on them and stick them in the box. And you leave them here. So if you're here at the church, each week for the next few weeks, just check that box and look for your name or for your letter that your last name starts with. Go through it, see if there's cards for you. That way you don't have to address them all, because that's miserable, all right? So here's start addressing your holiday cards. Okay, next one. 3 weeks out, so this should have been done by last Sunday. You should have had all this done. Mail your cards. Did everybody get that done by last Sunday? No, you look like, no, you're not doing so well. Buy a live, I like how she puts live Christmas tree. How many of you get live Christmas trees? Okay, how many of you have the artificial? We're artificial. Oh, wow, the world's almost gone totally artificial now. All right, you need to decorate. Now, here's the thing. This is up to last week. Decorate. How many of you the day after Thanksgiving have already decorated? That's us. Like, day after Thanksgiving, that's our tradition, is like decorate. Okay, this lady's waiting until this week. Who is not decorated at all yet? Okay, let me just advise you here. If you have not decorated yet, you are not truly a Christian, okay? So there's lots of ways to evaluate if you truly are a believer in Christ or not. One of the easy ones, if you haven't decorated 2 weeks out before Christmas, not a Christian, okay? Just saying. All right, finalize your menus, because you should have your menus down of what you're going to feed everybody, and you need to order your turkey or ham. I don't know where this lady lives, but I've never ordered a turkey or ham. You usually go out and you buy it somewhere and you have it. But okay, you need to have it ordered. Here we go. 2 weeks out. Shop for non-perishable items for all of your food and stuff. Next one. 1 week out. Deep clean the house. Buy batteries for children's toys. All right. Next. 3 days before, you need to shop for your fresh ingredients now. You need to set the table. You set the table 3 days before people get there. Start cooking 3 days beforehand and buy fresh flowers. Guess you want the house to smell good, right? All right, here we go. Christmas Eve. Recharge the batteries on your camera and video recorder. Finish last-minute wrapping. Finish cooking and make a timeline for the next day. So you have it all organized so everyone knows exactly how every minute's going to be spent. And then sit back and relax. Because Christmas is going to be the most relaxing holiday you've ever had after all of that. All right? I'm literally exhausted reading that thing. All right? If I have to start 6 months before Christmas gets here to start planning what I'm going to do at Christmas, let's just eliminate Christmas and just not celebrate it. All right? Because it's not really his birthday, like the 25th anyways. So it's not going to really matter. But if you didn't decorate, that's what matters. So that's what makes sure you're not a Christian. But anyways, I'm exhausted reading that thing. But let me tell you why I was sharing that list with you. It's for this reason. Someone that doesn't know Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior, who doesn't follow Jesus Christ, trying to find clarity of purpose in their life is much like that list. It's an exhausting task. It's an exhausting pursuit of things in their life. It's literally a mind-numbing process where you are pulled in multiple different directions all at once while never finding a place that you ever find contentment in. That's what it's like. It's impossible to find that one thing that you can put your finger on and go, that's my purpose in life. It's impossible to find that thing. What happens is this: people that don't know Jesus Christ, is they end up chasing multiple pursuits in this life, continually trying to find that one thing that will make them feel satisfied, yet they never really find it. So what you will see is this: people will pursue all sorts of different things, trying to find that purpose. For instance, here's some things they will pursue. They will pursue career advancements or achievements. And they will try to work their way up the ladder in whatever job field they're in, hoping that somehow when they reach some point, they will sit back and they will go, I feel content and I feel like I'm satisfied and I've achieved my purpose in life, yet it never comes. Other people pursue religion that we kind of talked about last week, the checkbox thing. Not having a relationship with God, but actually just check boxes that just do the right things and don't do the wrong things and do all those things and I'm good. And some people will pursue that and go, that's my purpose in life. But those are people who will still never find contentment and satisfaction in their life that lasts for any long period of time. Others will pursue friendships. They will try to be good friends. They'll try to be a good friend to people and have many friends that they go, these are great friends, and my purpose in life is I have these deep, meaningful relationships. But yet they will always find out that never fully brings contentment and satisfaction to their life. Others will pursue relationships, which is with spouses or girlfriends or boyfriends, thinking that someone of the opposite sex will fulfill them, that someone of the opposite sex will give them significance and contentment that they will have for the rest of their lives. And what they will find out is no, a spouse doesn't do that for you. A significant other doesn't fulfill all the gaps in your life and bring you complete satisfaction and contentment unless you're my wife and you're married to me. Then there's that one case, because you know how easy it would be to be married to me, right? All right, so other people, they will pursue parenting, and you see this. Parents that live their lives to their children. And if they can make their children successful, if they can get their children good grades, if they can get their children successful in sports, they think somehow that will bring them contentment and satisfaction. And then the kids move away at 18 and they realize that didn't work either. Some people pursue community involvement, that they will get involved in their community, maybe on different government boards or different things like that, and try to make a significant impact in their community and feel like that will bring that satisfaction, that contentment, and they find that is still lacking. Others pursue service. If I go serve the poor, if I go spend time helping feed them and clothe them and do all these things, if I just pursue that, I'll be satisfied. But yet it never brings the contentment they're looking for. And lastly, some people, they'll pursue politics. And if I just support a political party, if I support these political people, I can pursue them and support them, and somehow through them or through that party, I'll find contentment and satisfaction because my name's with them. And yet you always come up lacking. They always come up feeling unsatisfied and never feel quite content. Yet through all of those pursuits, what you will find is people of this world that don't know Jesus Christ. They can never find a lasting place that they just sit back and go, oh, that's my purpose. That's what it was all about. And the reason for that is pretty simple. It's this. We weren't created. We weren't designed to find purpose in all those pursuits. Our God did not create us to find purpose in those things. For us that are Christians, though, it's a little bit different. What Christmas reminds us of is this, the very clearly stated purpose that God has given his creation, which is us. And we as Christians know this, and Christmas reminds us of this. Let me read from Romans chapter 12. This is one of many scriptures, but this one does a really good job pointing out that very clear purpose that we have as Christians in life. It says this, Paul writes, "And so, dear brothers and sisters, I plead with you to give your bodies to God because of all he has done for you. Let them be a living and holy sacrifice, the kind he will find acceptable. This is truly the way to worship him." He goes on, he says, "Don't copy the behaviors and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect." We were created for one simple purpose, and that is to please God. That's what we were created for. And when we focus on that, and that is our continual focus in our life, and that is the purpose that we pursue in our lives, what we will find is that everything else falls into place. So all these other things that we pursue, careers, religion, friendship, relationships, parenting, community involvement, service, politics, all of those things, if you would just pursue God and try to please him, the rest of those things would fall into place. And you don't have to worry about them because they will naturally take care of themselves because you are pleasing God. That is the beauty of the purpose God has given us. This story of the purpose God has given us is a gift that we need to give to the world around us. To be honest with you, the world around us is exhausted pursuing all the different options out there of how they find purpose in their lives. You see, when you pursue your singular purpose in God, what you find is things become very simplistic rather than very complicated. Let me tell you why. The first thing you will see is this. Is it easier to pursue 15 things pulling at you or one? One, right? If I gave you the option, go, you can pursue these 15 things and they will all pull you in different directions and you guys spin all the plates, try to keep them spinning so you can please them all. Or on this option, I will just give you one, and all you have to do is just please that one, and you have to keep that one plate spinning. Which one's the easier option? The one. The 15 is overwhelming. The 15 wears you out. And that's what the people of the world will find. But when you follow Christ, you have one purpose, and it's very clear. And what it does is it makes the rest of life pretty simplistic, because the only question you have to ask when you have questions about what you're going to do or what you're going to pursue is, what would God want? What would God want? If you don't know God, here's how it goes. What would Susan want? What would James want? What would my mom want? My in-laws want? What would my kids want? My husband want? And what's my job want? And what's this organization want? And what's this? And you're sitting there going, okay, I can please 6 and I'm going to offend 8. Or I can please 10 and I'm going to offend 4. And your whole life is going, picking odds and ends and going, I'll offend this group to please this group, and next time I'm going to please them so they don't get too angry with me and I don't get upset with them. And I'll try to balance it all out, and it becomes this fatiguing balancing act. But when you are a Christian, you find simplicity of this. God, what do you want? Okay, that's what I need to do. See how I had to talk for 3 minutes over here and I have to talk for 10 seconds over here? When you know God and you know your purpose for your life is to please him, what it leads to is simplicity in your life rather than just complexity. And I would always choose simplicity over complexity. That list up there on the screen about Christmas gifts, mine is just like this. Christmas is coming, we're going to decorate after Thanksgiving, and the rest of it we'll handle as it comes. That's kind of how my list goes. Now, some of you, that stresses you out going, oh my gosh, okay? But that's how mine works. It's Christmas. So I know who I have to buy for. When I see some little gifts, I'll pick them up and we'll check them off our list, knowing we bought for them. But it's not going to be something that stresses me out for month after month. I'm not going to make it super complex when it's supposed to be very simple, okay? The other thing you will find is this. When you are pursuing your purpose in life, which is pleasing God, you will find calmness in your life rather than stressfulness. One of the other huge things about pursuing your purpose in life with God is this, is it should lead to a calmness in you rather than a constant stressfulness in you. If you look at the scenario I set up about making decisions, you can see why this side leads you to stress and this side leads you to calm. It's why the scriptures talk about that when you are in a relationship with God, that there are times where God will give you a peace that you can't understand, a calmness that you can't understand that just comes over you. Because why? Because you know you are pleasing God. Let me read to you from Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 through 8. Here's what it says. It says, trust in the Lord with all of your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. So it's saying here, don't depend on your own understanding. Follow God, because that's what you're here to do. You're here to follow him. And he says, seek his will in all you do, and he will show you which paths to take. So when you don't know what to do, turn to God, not to the 15 different places over here. Turn to God. He will show you what you need to do. Then he says, don't be impressed with your own wisdom, which is a trap we usually get in, which is, but I'm really smart. I can figure this whole system out. Yeah, don't be too impressed with yourself. You never do. If you notice, every time you think you made a perfect decision, does it ever end up perfect? No. How many of you have ever had before where you know you made the perfect decision, but yet still people are angry at you, and you go, what else more could I do? Right? Story of everybody's life. That's how it works. If you're married, you know how that is on a pretty regular basis, right? That's how it is. He says this, so don't be impressed with your own wisdom. Instead, he says, fear the Lord and turn away from evil. So what? Please God. Fear the Lord and turn away from evil. Then he says this is your result. Then you will have healing for your body and strength for your bones. Let me tell you what he's referencing there. Stress. You'll get rid of stress. What does stress do? It wreaks havoc on your body. It wreaks havoc on everything about you. Stress, we know this even through science now, the physical results of stress lead to so many other health issues in your life because you constantly are in stress. When you pursue God's purpose for your life and just pleasing him, you will find calmness that the world can't find, and you will let go of the stress that destroys your bodies. And that's what the author of Proverbs here writes. He says, then you will have healing for your body and strength for your bones. You won't be dealing with the results of constant stress in your life. You'll find calmness. Doesn't mean you're not going to get diseases. Doesn't mean you're not going to be sick. We live in a fallen, dead world that's dying. So we're going to get sick. We're going to have physical ailments. But you can relieve a lot of those by relieving a lot of the stress in your life. All right? The third thing we will see, when you pursue God's purpose in your life, the singular purpose, and pursue that in your life, is you will find peace rather than disillusionment. And what I mean by that is this. You will find peace in the decisions you make. That the decisions you make, you can sit back and you go, you know what? That was the right decision. No matter how all these people feel about me, I'm at peace because I know I please God. And sometimes pleasing God doesn't make everybody happy with me, but you can find peace. When you are not pursuing serving God, when you're not pursuing pleasing God, and you are caught up in this complexity of all these different people, delusionment sets in, which means this. You make decisions thinking they're going to turn out right, and they never turn out the way you thought they did, or how they would. And your results, everything, never match up to the way you planned them to match up. And the reason you find that is this. When you live for the world, when you live how Satan would deceive you to live, what you find is everything's based on lies. So the world's always telling you to make decisions over here, and it's going to have these results, and you find out once you make them, it never has those results. Teenagers, all of us were teenagers at some point. We've all gone through these years, where as teenagers, we make decisions over here that sound really good and really smart when we're making them, and then we see the results and go, how did that happen? Why am I so miserable? And you're going, well, as adults, we look back and we go, you made that decision. We were all teenagers. We've all done that. We've gone through that stage in life. As adults, we shouldn't be going through those stages of life anymore. If you are a Christian adult, you go, my whole purpose is to please God, and through pleasing God, I find peace. No longer do the results shock me. No longer am I even concerned with the results. All I'm concerned about is God's happy with me, and I know I made a pleasing decision to him, and that brings me peace. We read this in John chapter 8. It says this. It says, Jesus said to the people who believed in him, "You are truly my disciples if you remain faithful to my teachings." And he says, "And you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." The truth will set you free to experience peace rather than disillusionment. The Word of God, the teachings of Christ, what you will find is this. Again, you are never surprised by the results. Do you always get the results in this world that you want? No, you don't. It doesn't always go the way you wish it would go. But at the same time, if you're making decisions that please God, you're okay with that because you go, he's happy. I don't care if the 15 are unhappy. He is. And because he is, I'm at peace. It's something the world will never be able to experience. You see, this gift of purpose that God has given us, our Creator that has provided us, is a message the people in your life need to know. If you are sitting here right now this morning and you have received this gift of purpose, if you have understood this gift of purpose that God has given you, if you've applied it to your life, and if you have benefited from the results of following God's purpose for your life, this Christmas season, you need to re-gift that gift and give it to someone in your life who desperately needs to know about God's purpose for their life. You need to find that person that's over here stuck in the complexities of life, that is randomly, exhaustively searching for purpose and never can find it, and reveal to them and go, you know what? I have this gift over here. It's changed my life. It brings peace. It brings calmness. It brings simplicity to my life. And I would like you to know about it. That's what we are called to do as Christians. And then maybe what will happen is this Christmas, your friend or your family member, or your kid or something like that, they won't just celebrate another national holiday, but rather they might celebrate the beginning of a new path in their life that actually satisfies their soul. That's the gift you have in your hands. Are you willing to re-gift it to the world around you? Pray with me.